friend. Levi here. Welcome to Sacramento. And this studio behind me is where I've currently been setting up lighting a video shot that I'm going to be in. I'm going to fill you in on what is all going on and why I haven't been having as much time to upload to YouTube lately. And I also want to say in this video, thank you so much Squarespace for sponsoring it. I'll tell you more about Squarespace and how I use them to run my websites later. But I've been setting up that studio in there to film a shot about me talking about a thing, and I feel like there's some stuff I gotta fill you in on. This will be the first time I've stayed away from the kids for more than one night. That's kind of wild. Actually kind of a fun moment in my career. It's a nice culmination of several things. And a reason for the trip and the project I've been working on actually is inside of my backpack. Let me show you. And it is really cool when I'm trusted to just go make something that I think is good. Like what an awesome opportunity that is, you know? And in some ways it's intimidating when someone is willing to let you just go make something that like, what are your ideas? We will pay for it, go make it. That sometimes can be intimidating, but usually there's like restraints on the project as far as timeline or something like that. So that helps narrow down your focus about what's actually possible for you to make. So that is the roundabout explanation setup, bringing us to the point of the project I've been working on. Is for Atomos, the wonderful monitor recorder company. I've done paid work for them in the past, originally with the GH5 and recording 10-bit 4K, 60 frames, and I've done some other stuff for them, which has always been a lot of fun. But this time around, there's a fun new capability, and that is recording 8K ProRes RAW into the Ninja 5 Plus out of the Canon R5. I'm going to share with you a quick little teaser that I cut together from some of the footage that we shot, and this is the first 8K ProRes RAW stuff shot in the world. And I got paid to do it. And that is just, come on, that's cool. Let's roll the tape. So that's a little teaser that I cut together. I hope you found it somewhat interesting. And some of you do ask, like, what does your work look like, the stuff that I make with my production company? And on a good day, it looks something like that. And it's fun when it's got an adventure layer to it. And of course, that's just a little teaser. Hopefully that just kind of salts the palate of some of the stuff we shot. So this project has been kind of taking up a bunch of my headspace, at least for the last little bit, where I've been doing pre-production on it and trying to plan and shoot it, and then also start editing it because we're making a big behind-the-scenes video and also the finished short film. If you want to see the finished short film, or if you end up having questions about this in more detail, I'm happy to make more videos about it and kind of dive into the process. But one thing about this whole experience with getting to shoot with ProRes RAW 8K for the first time is we also wanted to be able to have an extended conversation with some members of the Atomos team and just talk through what it was like. So that's what's happening here. I'm sitting down with some team members. We're going to remote in call to Melbourne, and we're just going to talk about all things filmmaking and why this tech is exciting. It's a fun step forward for what it is that I do. And it's all just fun for me because I love the technical side of making videos, and I also really like the passion of just going out and making stuff. So 2 stools, that will be the conversation, me and Estelle, and then we're gonna have a remote call in, and we'll have it a camera angle here, camera angle there, and a camera angle straight on. And the big problem today is that all of the rental gear that we rented and had shipped here hasn't arrived yet. I just have this relentless optimism that it's gonna get here all on time. 12 cases, Estelle? 12 cases of equipment to come on FedEx. It was supposed to be here this morning. It is very much not the morning anymore. It's turning into the evening, and we're still waiting on this equipment. Our rehearsal, we were going to do that a little bit ago, but we're still waiting. So hopefully that stuff arrives quickly, because tomorrow we're actually recording this conversation, and it's going to be an online event that you can watch September 7 on the Atomos channel. I think you should tune in and watch it. I'm excited because it's going to be the first time that you'll be able to see some of these fun projects that I've been working on, and some of the hard work I've been pouring into this. And I think as someone who grew up watching all the different camera news, to like actually be one of the ones to get it early. And there's been a few things I've been able to test out early in my career before it like hits the public playing field, but to literally be the first to shoot 8K Prores RAW with the Canon R5 is just, that's awesome. Like, I don't care what you think about it. That is just a cool experience. And it's certainly cool to be trusted with that, right? Where, I think I would have wondered maybe even 5-8 years ago, how do I get experiences like that? But after a decade of showing up regularly and trying to make work that I want to get paid to make, to actually get paid to go make it on new camera tech, that's all really fun. Well, that's a great way to start today. The gear arrived. Less talking, more setting up. Let's see this. I used to, because truthfully, I film adventure filmmaking stuff. I film naturally lit stuff in the outdoors. I don't always do tons of lighting, and when I do, it's normally like one light source, two. So the prospect of lighting a studio space for me used to be really intimidating. And thankfully, I've been able to be a part of other people's shoots and watching them piece it together. So I feel like I've got a little bit of a better understanding, at least the moving elements, because it used to be really overwhelming. So talking through how simple this setup actually is, the studio manager left today, so the main bank of lights is turned off. But up there, we've got lighting across the top. And what that's really helpful for is getting even lighting onto the white cyc. That's important because then whatever happens in front of it doesn't cast shadows onto it. So because those lights are high, they put light onto the white cyc, it's going to look great. Now we just look after getting light onto our subject matter, which is going to be me and Estelle tomorrow. And again, the main principle about getting light onto people's faces is just make it large and soft. So this, we've got a scrim set up with some diffusion fabric, and we're just shooting lights through it. So this as well already has diffusion on it. The crate is probably doing nothing because it's shooting through. So this right here, to me personally, is like one of the larger factors, because the quantity of light coming through here onto the subject is kind of going to be what we then set our exposure off of on the cameras. And then over here, we just got another light, and that's what's going to fill it in from the side. We could use a bounce here if we didn't want to, but this is going to create some shape because the exposure difference between the two. This one's slightly less bright than this light source, but it'll create some nice even lighting, and it should look great. Check this out. One of the guys at the studio here has a full-on custom replica Batman suit. He referenced some video game specifically that it's from, but look at this thing. Life size, custom built to fit him. Over here, the frame's looking pretty nice. One of the things I like using when dialing in lighting on a white cyc is false color. I like aiming for having my main key light on skin tones being right around that 44 to 47 IRE. So that's green. So by just dialing in the exposure slightly, nailing it there, and then by the background being brighter, that's what gives it that nice washed out white look. Okay, here's the setup. C300, C300. Mics in a beautiful array to get stool there, safety down the middle. This one is actually sounding the best in the room. Looks a little funny holding a camera up this close, but I assure you the other angles look great. Got a fresh little coat of paint on the white cyc there. Running a really small team here to pull it off. It's kind of hilarious, like just setting up all the cameras for filming us and then us going and hitting record on them and then just going for it. Yo, friend, I've snuck here to the bathroom quick. Things are coming together. The gear's getting there. We've unpacked a lot of it, and it's taking shape. Chilling out in the bathroom is kind of a quick, easy way to do a vlogging moment. And I forgot to mention earlier, but in the subject of Squarespace to sponsor this video, like if you're wanting to get hired for more of the things that you want to get hired to do, you actually have to show that those are the kinds of things you want to get hired for. And maybe that just sounds so simple, but for me personally, if I tried to reverse engineer what got me to a point where I'm trusted with money from a company to go make a good thing, and it's part of having a track record on display publicly for people to remember and go look at. And that sounds like a website to me, a place that you have control of and you can display and represent yourself in the way that you choose to. And so Squarespace is a great way to do this because you have control. So I don't have to go to a web designer, I don't have to go to a web developer, I don't have to do this multi-step process through email to try and get changes onto my own website. If I have ideas, I can implement them, and I don't even really need to know what I'm doing. I can just log in, use their editor, and they make it very simple, which I appreciate. So if I were you, what I would actually do is go over, start a trial, and just start to put your own images in and try to think through what kind of previous projects, what kind of things can I use to represent what I do, so that way I can get hired more to do that in the future. Like, that's what it breaks down to. You're not going to get hired to do something that you aren't actively showing you can do on your own website. So I recommend trying out a trial, and then when you're ready to commit, make sure that you use my code for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. We've got some more set up to do, a little bit more, and then we're gonna shift gears here, and I'm gonna stop. Well, not that I've really been worried about filling you in with the vlog. Anyways, this has just been fun. I'm probably gonna go into focus mode and make sure that we just execute on this really well, and then I'll touch base with you afterwards. It's gonna be fun. Oh, and we also have to clean up somewhere in there, but I won't worry about that yet. We did it. It's done. I don't really have like example shots to show you because we already offloaded it onto the backup drive, which is going to be going to Melbourne. But it looked good, I think. I hope so. It's always an interesting exercise when I'm trying to DP something that I'm going to be in, but it was a fun little challenge. And the best part is just like, it's just working with good people. So that makes the whole experience quite fun. And I hope that comes across in the actual conversation that we had where, you know, we're trying to cover different technical things. And I hope the viewer at home enjoys it. That's kind of my hope. So I think that's where I'm going to end this, because I'm tired, and I'm gonna go home and see my kiddos tomorrow. That's a fun thing to say as a very new dad with 2 kids under a year and a half. This is the first experience where I get to really sit in that anticipation to see the kids again, and I'm certainly cherishing it. That's it for this one. I'll catch you in the next one, and remember, life's better when you make stuff.